Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Star Wars The Black Series Bad Batch Season 2, Wrecker in his mercenary gear. If Saturday morning cartoons fueled your imagination as a kid and powers your action figure collecting now as an adult, then you're in the right place. Thanks for stopping by and welcome to Saturday Morning Toy Collector. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing. Alright, taking a closer look at the front of the package here, we can see Wrecker in all of his glory. It does say Mercenary Gear. Beautiful artwork on the side from that mural that we've taken a look at all week. Here's everything he comes with. A slight upgrade to his weaponry, so we're going to see that in just a minute. Picture of the figure on the back, and then a write-up of him. You can pause it and read it if you like. This is my wife's favorite character out of the Bad Batch, probably mine as well, so I can't wait to get this guy opened up and see what he comes with. Taking a closer look at all of Wrecker's accessories here, we're going to start off with the knife. This thing is big and huge and looks menacing. It is the exact same blade that we got before, and it even looks like the handles are almost exactly the same color, with the original being just slightly darker. Here's a look at his backpack, which looks like it could have like some sort of mine or explosive device right there on the front, and two little canisters that could explode on the side. Looks very nice. It is the exact same one we got before, just cast in a different gray plastic, and has new paint apps on it, which looks really nice. And then here we have the biggest upgrade, and I do mean big. This is his blaster, and if this doesn't look different from his first blaster, let me bring it in. Here it is. Not sure what happened there with Hasbro, but they had to embiggen this thing. It was just a little too small on the first release, and I'm not sure what they were thinking. Maybe they just give us the same one that Hunter came with, but they really needed to bulk that guy up for his second release, and I'm glad they did. Here's a closer look at his helmet. The helmet's pretty much the exact same paint job as before, with the 99 logo missing from the front. The teeth are not nearly as defined on the paint, but maybe he had to redo that, and that red on the back is a little more brighter, a little more vibrant. But yeah, it's basically the exact same paint job as before. Taking a closer look at Wrecker, and man, this head sculpt, it doesn't get old. I love it. It's one of my favorite head sculpts of all time. You can see that there is a new chest piece here, new shoulder pads, this new middle torso piece, this belt piece. I'm not sure about the legs. I think they're pretty much the exact same that we got before. We're going to take a look. Here we have this little strap holster thing on the side of his belt. And how does this work? It just plugs right in. Oh, sorry guys, I am like way off camera right now. But yeah, that plugs in nicely and it doesn't fall out. So we'll see how that holds his weapon later on. See if it actually does hold his blaster. But you can see all the nice new sculpted parts and pieces here, and this color scheme is quite nice. I'm digging it. It looks really, really good, and that bright orange down at the bottom. Let's go ahead and get the big old blade in there in his leg and get that out of the way. Slide that down in his sheath if I can get it turned around properly. There you have it. And let's go ahead and get him kitted out with his backpack as well. God, I love this smirking head sculpt. It just looks so good. Let's go ahead and pop the helmet on all the way. We're going to give it a half helmet here in a little bit and see how that looks. And he just looks nice. The paint apps are nice and clean. And I like that matte finish all over these figures. Not nearly as shiny as the original. Here he is compared to the original. You can see that the chest piece is different. The shoulder armor is different. The upper arm on his right arm looks different. The gauntlets are different. The waist piece is different, but it looks like the legs, the knees, yeah, the legs, the thighs, the knees, and the lower legs are going to be the exact same, but the rest of that is all new sculpted parts and pieces. That's that same head sculpt, but it's just a slightly better paint job on it, and I am digging it. As far as articulation go, Wrecker can look up that far, look down about that far. Let's see how the helmet hinders that when we put the helmet on. Yeah. He's not looking back too far, but he can look down a little bit, which is really what he needs to, because he's much taller than everybody does. Even with the helmet, he has a head tilt, which is really nice. The shoulder pads are on a little cuff, so you can go all the way out and hit 90, and carefully go all the way around if you need him to. Elbow, we have 90-degree bend and swivel at the elbow, horizontal hinge and swivel on the left wrist, and then a vertical hinge and swivel on the right. Just like everybody else, he only has that upper torso articulation where he can only lean forward and back that far. He can rotate side to side, but as we've seen all week long, No waist articulation. Legs can go forward and out about that far, back about that far. He does have a upper thigh cut. He does have well past 90 on the knees, swivel at the knee as well. No swivel at the foot, just a hinge and a rocker. So let's see if we can get him kitted out with the rest of his stuff here. And man, he's looking pretty menacing, as he should. Wrecker is ready to wreck stuff, and he just looks so good. All right, here we have him standing up next to the first release of Wrecker, and they are standing head to head with each other, looking really nice. But yeah, while they look great together, you know, we're never going to see these guys together. Probably not even on your shelf. You're probably going to have them separated. Let's bring in the rest of the crew. We're going to bring in Tech, who we looked at yesterday. We're going to bring in Echo, who we looked at the day before. And then finally, we're going to round out the team with their leader, Hunter, and bring him in and see how the size compares to Wrecker. Of course, he is going to tower over these guys. And boy, that whole team is looking really, really nice. And I'm glad to finally have gotten around to reviewing these guys. So let's get these guys out of the way, get Hunter into some backgrounds and into some lighting, and see how he poses up. I'm so sorry that it's taken me long to take this close of a look at all of these figures. They look great, but like I said, you know, this is going to feed right into our month-long look at Star Wars, mostly the Black Series. We've already covered the only vintage collection with the Ewoks that we're going to be looking at. And man, we've just got a lot more to go through, to get to. So stay tuned. And we got a bigger one coming up next week that to kick off next week that I think you guys are really going to enjoy. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I super appreciate it. Please continue to check us out over at Instagram at Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I am the Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I'm your host, Mark. And remember, I will see you in the toy aisles.